And before we wrap the show for this week, I have a question for you. Do you know what's sologamy? It's a word that many Indians are just learning, including myself. Sologamy is the act of marrying oneself. But who does that? Well, people do, apparently. Meet Shama Bindu. She is 24 years old and she claims to be the first Indian to be entering into sologamy. Shama is marrying herself later this month. She says it is the ultimate act of self-love and self-acceptance. And in case you don't believe me, here's the wedding card. She did not address it to us, no, but she did share it with the media, and that's how we have it. Now, everyone's talking about Shama and her sologamy. Here's what the bride-to-be told some reporters, and I'm quoting. "I don't require a Prince Charming because I am my own queen. I want the wedding day, but not the next day. That is why I have decided to marry myself. I will dress up like a bride, take part in rituals. My friends will attend my wedding, and then I will come back to my house instead of going with the groom." And just to clarify, there is no groom. Shama says her parents are fine with the wedding. What kind of a wedding are we talking about? A big fat Indian wedding. There'll be everything, we're told, from priests to rituals, everything minus the groom. And you may call it bizarre, you may call it sad, you may even call it attention-seeking, and you may not be wrong. But the fact is, sologamy is now a thing. People are marrying themselves everywhere. In 2017, a woman in Italy invited her friends to a lavish wedding. She was dressed in a dream gown. There was a 3-layer wedding cake, but there was no groom. That woman too said she did not need a prince for a fairy tale wedding. And it's not just women who are exchanging vows with themselves. In 2020, a Brazilian man married himself. He was actually supposed to marry his fiancée, but she broke off the engagement. By then, the wedding preparations had been done, a coastal resort had been booked, and payments upwards of $61,000 had already been made. So the heartbroken man decided to stand up in front of the guests, hold up a mirror, and say yes to himself. How dramatic. Now, quick question. Are such ceremonies even legal? Well, they're not. In India, a marriage must be between two persons, two individuals. It's the same elsewhere, which makes sologamy merely symbolic, meaning it is not a real marriage. Of course, it's not. But people seem to be okay with this. They aren't just marrying themselves. Some are even divorcing themselves, believe it or not, like this woman from Brazil. She decided to call it quits just 90 days after marrying herself. Apparently, she found someone else. The industry does not seem to mind the celebration of self-love. Companies around the world are offering sologamy services. A Japanese company, for instance, is offering a 2-day package. In Canada, a wedding company has an all-inclusive sologamy package. It also covers photography. There are similar companies in the United States too. Just Google the word, and you'll be surprised to see how much conversation there is around self-marriage. Critics have spared no words to slam the idea. Lawyers are calling out the pointlessness of it. It does sound pointless. Therapists say it's loneliness. But the ones who have entered into such a marriage have nothing but heartfelt stories to share. Let me read out to you what a proud sologamist writes. In our culture, everyone blindly applauds when you announce you're in a relationship, but you don't get nearly the same reaction when you decide to focus on your relationship with yourself. In fact, everyone treats you with unspoken sympathy when you're single. Don't worry, love, the right man is just around the corner. I decided it was time to rejoice in my wholeness, and what better way to celebrate self-love than with a wedding? So from what I gather, sologamy is not just saying that I'm never marrying. It's about breaking the taboo around being single and saying I'm happy and single at 30 or 40 or whatever age you may be. The first recorded instance of sologamy was reported in 1993. A woman put on a white dress and married herself just ahead of her 40th birthday. During the ceremony, the bride was reminded that the only thing missing was a quote-unquote beer-swilling couch potato who might forget your birthday. The non-minister then asked the bride, "Do you solemnly swear to be good to yourself, to honor yourself in sickness and in health until the day you're not here?" "I do," said the bride. I understand there are many questions in your head right now. It takes a while to get used to an idea like this, but I will end with a reminder that at the end of the day, it's to each his own. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.